Babatunde Ahmad, please mute your mic. Moses Isaiah Grace Adeku Uka Ugbena, please mute your mic, please. So now you've identified your customer avatar using all those tools to know, okay, what questions are they asking, what are they going through. So once you know all those things, you can then begin writing. So to make it easier for you, I created this 19-step structure of a Janice pre-sale. Structure helps you with is that it gives you like a format for writing. Do you understand? One thing about writing copies, especially sales copies and pre-sale copies, is that you need a format depending on your level of dexterity. Personally, now me, I might not need a format. Do you get? But if you're just learning afresh, you would need a format that, okay, I'm going to follow, I'll proceed like this, then like this, like that till the end. Okay, so now the format is a 19-step format. This is the second page. Examples of copies that I've written and they've worked well. Those formats have worked well for. I'm going to show you guys some examples. So just like we did yesterday, that we did some examples on high blood pressure, diabetes, and arthritis, the 3 conditions. We're also going to do the same thing today. Do you understand? So now let us proceed. Let us proceed. Please mute your mic if you are. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Rashid Amoto, I don't know how there's song in your background, but mute your mic. Rashid Amoto. Okay, so let's proceed. Let me open this. Let me open the hyperlink. So then we can review it and you see how that 19-step structure of a Janice pre-sale works in. So you see how the 19-step pre-sale structure works like live. That's how I'm showing you guys this. Please hold on. I don't know why this thing's taking ages to load. Funny thing is, I don't even like using this browser. So let me copy this and open up Chrome. Okay, so let's proceed, guys. So this is the high blood pressure example I wanted to show you. Let me scroll down a bit. So let's go back to our 19-step Janice pre-sale structure. Janice 19-step structure of a Janice pre-sale. So number 1 here is a catchy headline. So let's go back. If you look here, if you look down here, you see the catchy headline. Then the number two step is a short introduction. Now, the thing about the short introduction is to just introduce the person, maybe what the person does, just a little background on the person. You don't need to say too much. It's always very short. So look here, look at how this story started. Good day, I'm Mr. Olushola. I'm coming. I'm coming. Good day, I'm Mr. Olushola. Guys, can you see how short it is? Are you with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a very short introduction. Now, you go on to the next part. The next part is number three. How you found out you had the illness, or if you, in your own case, if the person is a woman, how she found out she had the illness, symptoms and earlier signs had. Do you understand? Most times, this part is always the longest part. So let's proceed now and review this part of the pre-sale copy. So June 2019 was one of the happiest days of my life. My daughter, who is my first child, had gained admission into one of the most prestigious higher institutions in Nigeria. She gained admission to study medicine and surgery, and my wife and I were so proud of her. In fact, she was one of the few students who gained admission into the medicine and surgery department that year. June 2019 was a matriculation ceremony, and the entire family traveled down to her school to celebrate her. Let me scroll down. Unknown to me, this same day was the day I would get one of the saddest days of my life. When all the matriculated students were coming out of the hall, we were, we were on the lookout for Rachel, that's my daughter's name. When we saw her coming out of the hall with other crowd of students, the entire family was whistling and yelling to cheer her on. She was all smiles and really happy, even though she was here to see us. But sadly, this was where it all happened. As I, wa- I was out, as I was about to scream her name to alert her about where we were in the car park, suddenly I felt a sharp pain in my chest. It was as if my heart had locked and stopped beating. It was that bad. Now, what number are we? West. What number are we, guys?
3.
Yeah, good. So we are still in three. I'm getting to how you found out he had the illness, symptoms, and earlier signs. Okay. Suddenly, please, everyone, excuse me, please. Everyone should follow, please. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain in my chest. It was as if my heart had locked and stopped beating. It was that bad. I'd never experienced anything like this before. Before I could realize what was happening, I was already on the ground, with one hand on my chest and the other resting on the ground. I could hear distant screams, but my eyes were gradually closing and I was fading out. My family's attention was turned from Rachel to me. My wife quickly leaned over to help me. She was asking me repeatedly, Honey, what's wrong? Honey, are you okay? I'm coming. I was in so much pain I could barely open my mouth to talk. With each gasp I took, I felt the pain in my chest sharper and sharper. I could only mutter the words, my chest, my chest. The voices of my family slowly started fading away, and my eyes began to shut down. What number are we still now, guys?
Number 3.
3. Number 3.
Okay,
Number
good.
3.
I'm glad you guys are following. The voices of my family slowly started fading away, and my eyes started to shut down. The next time I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital bed. I started up trying to understand what was going on around me. But immediately my wife, who was beside me, noticed I was awake. She ran out of the room to alert the nurses. Entering the room, she informed me I had been admitted after my fainting that morning. Rachel was also in the medical center with us in a matriculation gown. Later, they entered my room with my test results. We broke the sad news to my family and I. I had hypertension. I was devastated with the news. It was not meant to happen. Please, mute mic if you are not speaking. Uh, Pauline, why is it not? Okay. I was devastated with the news. This was not meant to happen. As far as guys, can you still hear me? Because my screen here is showing your internet is unstable.
We can hear.
Okay, perfect. Let's go on. As far as I was concerned, sorry, I had hypertension. I was devastated with the news. This was not meant to. I was leading a healthy lifestyle. The doctor told me I was very lucky to be close to a medical center, that if I wasn't, we could have been telling another story now. He ran me through some symptoms of hypertension like headaches, blurry vision, chest pain, weakness, shortness of breath, and asked if I'd been experiencing some of this in the past. To be honest, I'd been experiencing most of these symptoms, but I never took note of them. Can you see how I said,
Attention. The symptoms of
I can't hear you perfectly. I don't know if it is my network or yours. I don't know if it's from your end or
Can you hear me,
mine.
sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Caleb, you listed it. These are the symptoms of hypertension, like
Yes.
stages. That is from back pain.
Okay. FC Jones, please try. Put your mic off and down. What did
Good
you say?
morning, sir.
Can you
I
hear me?
feel.
Yes, I can. I can.
Am I gone?
Yeah, please go on. FC Jones, go on. Daniel
Okay, I think
Ofo and
you are
that's
listing the symptoms so that the
can barely hear you. Maybe it's my network or it's from your end. Can you hear him well, please?
yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay, go on. That means it might be my network. Go on then.
Okay, you are listing the symptoms so that whoever comes across it or the reader will see him or herself in it.
Sorry, I didn't get that, please.
Oh, okay. I said you listed all this so that the reader, maybe a hypertensive patient, can see him for himself in it.
Okay, yeah,
Which
that's
can
good.
be relatable when being read.
Yeah, it is. That's good. Please, we are not talking. Mute your mic, please. Tell you what, if you want to speak, raise your hand. You understand? If you are not talking, mute your mic. Some background noise and it's disturbing. Yeah. Okay, so that's good, guys. The reason why I listed them is it is important that when you are writing, you also write to some. See, like they call hypertension now the silent killer. Some people have hypertension and they don't know. Do you understand? But then if they read through your copy by chance and they see that the doctor ran me through some of the symptoms of hypertension like headaches, blurry vision, fatigue, chest pain, weakness, shortness of breath, and the person says that I'm having all this, so I hope I'm not having hypertension. Do you get? It can increase your chances of helping that person solve the problem they're already facing. Do you get? So instead of just don't just write to appeal to the people that already know they have the condition. Also write to appeal to people that don't know. You get that it is very important. So let's proceed. And ask if I had been experiencing some of this in the past. To be honest, I've been experiencing And if I had enough again, sorry, I'll be well Richard again. He put me on some medications and advised me to reduce my salt intake, exercise more, get more sleep time, reduce stress, amongst others. I followed this advice religiously and used my medications consistently too, even though I had a busy schedule and it was difficult for me. Guys, what number are we now?
Number 4.
Let me check. Yeah, we are getting to number 4. That's good. We are
Still number
just
3.
entering number 4 now. That's the importance of all these steps. You have to write them in a way that they will transition and flow through. So let's continue. He puts you on some medication and I advise me, like, do you understand? What do they advise them to use? It to be so. Anybody that has high blood pressure will be able to connect with your story or anything you're writing about. Reduce salt intake now is something common they tell people with high blood pressure. Do you get? They also tell them to exercise more. Do you understand? Like, just do mild exercises. Then they tell them sleep better, reduce your stress too. So he puts me on some medications and advised me to reduce my salt intake, exercise more, get more sleep time, reduce stress, amongst others. Excuse me. I followed this advice religiously and used my medications consistently too, even though I had a busy schedule and it was difficult for me. Days of using this medication, Chimezie, you're raising your hand. Ask your question. Oh, no, let's do like this. If you guys are asking questions while I'm listening, don't wait till the end. Whatever question you want to ask, please. Amza, Baria John Akekwe, please mute your mic. Amza Musa, mute your mic. I don't understand why some of you just unmute your mic. So this is what we'll do. Don't ask question while we are in the class. We'll just spend ages here. So write down whatever question you want to ask after the class, then you can ask it. Do you understand? So I'm coming. Where was I? Days of using these medications and following his advice turned into weeks and weeks into months. But there was no difference. My BP was still very high. I was at the risk of a heart attack. What number are we now, guys?
Number 4.
Yeah, now we've entered. Good. Let's proceed. I'm coming. Please, I've missed where I was. My eyes has missed where I was, I beg. Okay. But there was no difference. My BP was still very high and I was at the risk of a heart attack.
Come and teach you.
When this didn't work, I tried several concussions and locally made herbs.
No, I've not plugged it. I was like, I want to teach him before I plug it.
Babatsun Chukwudi Daniel Okpara. Who is saying I've not plugged it? I beg, mute your micro. Okay. So none of this worked. So I was going from one hospital to another and from one concussion to another. In fact, one of the concussion I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. At that point, I had almost given up. It was as if these people were Mr. Deku, please mute your mic. In fact, one of the concussions I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. What number are we now, guys?
Number 4.
5.
We're in 5. You know, the doctor told me when he denied concussions and herbs that his wife recommended. So those ones are more common solutions. You get concussions and herbs are common solutions. So we've entered number 5. But the good thing about this 19-step structure is, as I told you guys, I was the one that crafted it for you guys. It is not that you don't need to be extremely rigid with it. If you have so much dexterity up to the point that you can be very flexible with this. You might skip some points, add your own, and then you still come up with something good. The major thing is that your audience is able to connect emotionally to your pre-sale copy, and then that it triggers them to take what action you ask them to. They don't have that level of dexterity, or you don't believe that. So let's see. None of this worked. So I was going from one hospital to another and from one concussion to another. In fact, one of the concussion I used gave me a serious side effect. Can you still hear me, guys? Because my laptop is showing unstable internet again.
We
Okay,
can hear
good.
you, sir.
I hear you, sir.
I used one of the concussions I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. At that point, I had almost given up. It was as if these people were only out to get money from desperate people like me with their so-called solutions. Now, guys, we've done number 5 now. We've done number 6. Let me show you guys what we did number 6. This is number 6. You're telling how the symptoms got worse. Let me show you. I'm coming. See, this is number 6. In fact, one of the concussion I used gave me a serious side effect that left me having a partial stroke for a week. So that's number 6. Number 6 is retelling how the symptoms go. A feeling of giving up and hopelessness. That's where we are now. So at that point, I'd almost given up. It was as if these people were out to get money from desperate people like me with their so-called solutions. I didn't know what to do anymore. I tried every solution I knew there was. My health had also gone from pillar to post, trying to see what could help me, but all to no avail. My world was crumbling down, but still I had to keep hope because of the family I had to cater for. Let me see the number we are now. So now we're number 7. Feeling of giving up and hopelessness. So let's continue. I'm coming. What was I? My world was crumbling down, but still I had to keep hope because of the family I had to cater for. One fateful day, my wife saw a post on her Facebook. It was a video about a forgotten method Indians used in completely reversing their high blood pressure. She showed me the post, but I stated clearly that I was not interested, that these people are just time wasters. Before I continue, what number are we now, guys?
Number 9, sir.
Okay, yeah, we've done number 8. That place where I showed you that it was a forgotten method Indian used, that was number 8. Gradually bringing in the solution. Then showing doubts is like, the reason why this is important, this showing doubts is important, is because somebody that has tried to, okay, let's say, I don't know, a couple of you might have bought a lot of make money online courses, and then you ended up with some rubbish kind of courses that were not really helpful. You get, if they ask you to come and buy something similar to that, you definitely be doubt. You can't just be like, oh, perfect, I'll give this one a try again. Even though you give it a try, you'll be very skeptical, do a lot of research, confirm that this might actually work before this thing. You get, if you're somebody that buy courses well, and a lot of them are, see, the truth is, if you are somebody that buy courses well, 99% of those courses will not be beneficial to you. You get, it's just like with 1% that will be beneficial. So if they ask you to come and buy another one, you'll be very skeptical. Do you understand? So that's why this showing doubt is very important. Somebody that's tried for so long to solve a problem using different methods will not just see one, especially online, and just embrace it like that, oh, perfect, I will use this one too. That's why this number is very important. This is number 9, showing doubt. So it is important, even though you want to be flexible with the 19-step Janice pre-sale structure. Don't forget this number 9 is important. Okay, so let's proceed. I'm coming. Okay, she showed me the post where I stated clearly that was time wasters. She played the video and started watching by herself. Just a few minutes into the video, I overheard a statement that made me curious, and I decided to normalize high blood pressure using what he calls the 2-in-1 HBP destroyer. This was new, I thought, so I kept watching. Let me see the number. Let me see the number we are. Now we are introducing the unique solution. Did you see? Guys, somebody should tell me where I introduced the unique solution. Let me confirm if you guys are following. Please raise your hand if you want to speak. Okay, Julius Victory. Just tell me the paragraph.
Sir. A few minutes later, I learned that a Nigerian doctor have found a natural and effective way to normalize high blood pressure using what he calls the 2-in-1 HBP destroyer.
Good, perfect. This is the line. This is introducing the unique solution. I said gradually bringing in the solution, but gradually bringing in the solution is not actually introducing the solution. You are just saying maybe the person saw a post or the person heard something about it. You get, but you introducing the unique solution is when you actually state what it is, or what you saw, or what you use that help you reverse your high blood pressure in this case now. So let's proceed. I thought, so I kept watching. The video directed us to take some step, which we did. To be honest, I was still very skeptical. After the first week of following this method, let me show you the number we are now. So introducing the unique solution, let's proceed. So after introducing the unique solution, okay, the video directed us to take some step, which we did. To be honest, I was still very skeptical. After the first week of following this method, I didn't see any changes. I almost concluded that this was one of those again, but my wife encouraged me to keep trying it because the video stated that people would follow this method, started seeing results from the 3rd to 4th week. So if you look here now, you see that I brought him more doubts. He was skeptical after watching the video. Then I brought in that the wife was trying to give him assurance that don't rush now, that it would work. Do you understand? Now let's go back. Can you see, this is why I'm saying that you can be flexible with it. It's not that because I gave you 19 steps pre-sale structure is already written in stones that you must use it like that. No, you can still be very flexible with it. So even myself that I gave you guys, I interchanged it here. So after he used it and he wasn't seeing any changes, the wife encouraged him to keep using it. So he kept trying. So that's me bringing in more doubts before his wife now started giving him assurance. So let's proceed now. But my wife encouraged me to keep trying it because the video stated that people who follow this method started seeing results from the 3rd to 4th week. So I kept trying it. On the 3rd week, I noticed I was regaining my strength. I wasn't as weak as I used to be. My body pain had reduced. So I checked my blood pressure reading and it was lower than it was last week. What number are we now, guys?
Number 13.
Yeah, good. Number 13. My body pain had reduced, so I checked my blood pressure reading and it was lower than it was last week. This was unbelievable at first, so I decided to keep using it till the next week to be sure. By the end of the 4th week, I took my blood pressure reading and this time it had dropped by like 10 points. I thought my BP checker was faulty, so I decided to pay a visit to the hospital the next day to confirm. What number are we now, guys?
Number 14.
Number
Good.
14.
Yes, number
Yeah,
14.
perfect. Yes. So going for test for reassurance. So I thought my BP checker was faulty, so I decided to pay a visit to the hospital the next day. Around 10 a.m. on Saturday, doctor and test. And when sorry, excuse me, please. He took some tests, and when the test results came back, he was extremely surprised. He didn't believe what he was saying. My readings showed that my BP was near normal. I was recording 1/83 mmHg. This mmHg is the unit for measuring blood pressure level. So it is very important. And I was not at the risk of a heart attack. This was unbelievable. So my doctor asked me to come back the next day to confirm my readings. When I arrived at the hospital the next day, a Saturday, he took my BP readings again. The doctor looked confused. He told me my BP reading was now 120/80 mmHg, even lower than yesterday's reading. You can tell me why the doctor asked me to come back. Just one person, please. You can raise your hand if you want to try. Who wants to try? Okay, let me just go ahead and explain. One thing about high blood pressure you should know is that they can't just take your BP reading once and just say, oh, that you are now free of high blood pressure. High blood pressure will vary at different points in time. Somebody that just walked under the sun, maybe for like 30 minutes, if you take the person's blood pressure reading, it will be very high. Somebody that just finished playing ball, for example, if you take the person's blood pressure reading, it will be very high. So what they do is they take blood pressure reading at different points in time, and then they now calculate the aggregate. Aggregate just means what's aggregate? Like average. I think is that mean? That's mean. If you do math, that's mean. So they will add up all the numbers and then divide it by the number of times that he went to this thing. So the results will not be the person's blood pressure reading. Okay, so let's go on. The doctor looked confused. He told me my BP reading was now. Sorry, excuse me, please. He told me my BP reading was now 120/80 mmHg, even lower than that of yesterday. I was elated, full of joy when this was confirmed. I wasn't even following any strict diet plan. Neither was I exercising, and I wasn't getting either. My blood pressure level was normalized. Please mute your mic. Please, if you are not speaking, mute your mic. Yet my blood pressure level was normalized. Who can tell us the number we are now? Guys, who can tell me the number we are now?
Number 7.
15.
Number what?
Number
what?
15.
Number 15?
Number 17.
No, we are not in number 17 yet. We're in number 15. God result that was finally better. The doctor just confirmed that it was just free of high blood pressure. So now let's proceed. I was so happy that my years of suffering were finally over, and I'll be able to spend more time with my family in good health. Now I can tell you that I'm living a happy life. My second child wrote his WAEC this year. He's going to gain admission soon. Our last one is also doing well in school. She wants to study medicine, like her elder sister Rachel, who is now in year 3. Every day I thank God for the solution I discovered in that video, and I also thank God for my wife who showed it to me. If you want to watch the video, click the button below to watch the video. Do you understand? So now, let me break down these remaining parts. Spread the goodness, got what he lost back due to the illness. Okay, so let's analyze that one now. So spread the goodness. Spread the goodness. I told you can use this, you can interchange all these things. So this part of every day, I thank God for the solution I discovered in the video. And I also thank God for my wife who showed it to me. If you want to watch the video, click the link below. That's him spreading the goodness. Can you see how I brought it in? That's number 16 at the end. Now, got back what he lost due to the illness. Who can show me here? Let me see. Who can show me here? Hey guys, can you even hear me? Because this one, no one is saying anything. Okay, Julius Victory, please go on.
I wasn't following any strict diet plan. Neither was I exercising, and I wasn't getting enough sleep time either. Yet, my blood
Okay.
pressure level was normalized.
Let me see. That's for number. Got what he lost back due to the illness. No, that's a good try. No, but it's just the next paragraph after it. Got what he lost back due to the illness is like all these conditions. People just don't. How do I put it? People don't just suffer. It's not that it's like the pain that is really costing them. Do you understand? It's like how it is going to affect their lifestyle. And what was he really concerned about from the beginning of the copy, or like in this situation, the story now? He was concerned that he might leave his family behind. He might die and leave his family behind. Do you understand? So that part of got what he lost back due to the illness. This is it. I was so happy that my years of suffering finally over, and I will spend more time with my family in good health. Do you understand? So that's the major thing that I lost back. This one is like extra for it. This one is just extra info backing this up. Do you get? This one is just let me highlight it. This place. From here to this second one I highlighted. Okay, up to this point. Up to this point. So these three paragraphs, 1, 2, 3. Let me put my cursor well. 1, 2, 3. These ones are just extras, you get. So let's go on now. So after that one now, what was lost? We're feeling grateful and wanting to share the good news with others. I just mix that up with spreading the goodness, you get. Then call to action. The call to action is this: click the link below to watch the video. Click here to watch the video. Do you understand, guys? So that's just it is that simple. It's not hard to do. So let's do for the two other ones now. So let's do for diabetes now. We've done for high blood pressure. Oh. Okay, so let me open it with Chrome again. Now this is for diabetes. So I want you guys to pay. I've shown you one example. I want you guys to pay more attention here. Let's see all this pasting multiple times. Okay, so now let's look at this one. Somebody should tell me the number one step in the 19-step pre-sale structure.
A headline.
Yeah, a catchy headline. Good. So now, my 14-year-old son had to drive me to a medical center in an emergency when I fainted due to diabetes. This is how it happened. This is the headline. Simple as that. So we'll come back. We'll still analyze the headlines. Don't worry. I'll still show you guys how you can come up with good headlines. So let's go back now. So number 2 is a short introduction. So let's proceed. Today we talk to Mr. Chinedu Obiora, a 52-years-old man who suffered his diabetes. I'm coming. Oh, sorry. A 2 years old man who reversed his diabetes. He tells us how. Good day. I'm Mr. Chinedu Obiora. People call me Nidu. Bam, finish. Your short introduction can be 1 line, 2 lines. It doesn't need to be no long story. So people are concerned about getting to the juicy part. So I get into number 3, how he found out he had the illness. I was arguing with my son. You know how teenagers can be. I had seized his phone. His mom wasn't around. She had to travel to our village, and it was only him, his younger sister, and I left at home. So I thought, why don't you play Ludo like we used when they were young? They were on holiday. Let me scroll down. We got playing. I started against my 12-year-old daughter. I defeated my daughter with ease in just a few minutes. It was not my son and I playing, but he wouldn't get off his phone, even after I told him several times. For the fun time we have not to be ringed, I seized his phone, then an argument between us started. And for a while, this continued. It became so heated, I started screaming at the top of my voice. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
we
you.
can hear you.
Okay, what
Yes, we
number are
can hear
we?
you.
Okay, what number are we?
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number
Sorry,
3.
excuse me. Yeah, we're
Number
number
3.
3. I'm not in number 4.
Number 3, sir.
Yeah, we're number 3. Yes. Okay. It became so heated. I started screaming at the top of my voice. Suddenly, I started feeling dizzy. Then I fell to the ground. And before I knew it, I became unconscious. My son and daughter were only 14 and 12 years old at the time. What were they to do? It was just the 3 of us at home. We lived in an estate, so they couldn't reach out to our neighbors that late at night. They were already panicking. Even if they were to call the emergency number 112, this is Nigeria, they wouldn't pick. And if they did, they would take hours to come. All my kids could do was call their mother, who at first was scared, but when she heard what happened on the phone, sorry, who at first was scared when she heard what happened on the phone, but later on gained their composure, asked them to remain calm and get me into the car in whatever way they could. They did. Until now, it still baffles me how they managed to pull it off. My 14 years old son had to drive me and his sister to the closest private hospital. Fortunately, he had been watching me drive, and I'd been teaching him a thing or two about driving in our estates. So who can tell me why I said this? Okay, wait, let me continue. I was also fortunate that my wife had traveled with the manual gear car. So it was just the automatic gear car left at home at that moment. Who can tell me why I said this? From here to here.
So I think why you said that is because it seems that some people will ask, can a 14-year-old really drive? Is it that possible?
Okay, all right. So that's a good attempt. So let me just. This is why I said it is because number 1, if you notice, okay, Musa or Baka Josiah.
All right. I think the reason why you said so is so if manual cars are majorly difficult to drive, and a 14-year-old boy to be difficult for him to get by. But I think automatic is easier.
That's good. Then also, if you also take notes here, you notice that I said I've been teaching him 18 or so about driving in our estate, and then he carried his dad to the closest private hospital you get. So you know that it's not that he drove to maybe one distant location, or maybe was driving on the express at a dangerous. So let's move the manual gear car. It was the automatic gear car left at home at that moment. We arrived at the hospital around 12:05 a.m. in the midnight, and I was immediately admitted and put on a drip. The following day, I became fully conscious again, and by evening time, my wife was already with me. She had traveled down from her village to be with me. Shortly after this, the doctor stepped into the room. Please, that some people are funny. Bolade Gbenga. I've muted him. He asked me a series of questions and took my blood sample for a test. When he came back with the test results, he to me, Mr. Obiora, you are suffering from type 2 diabetes, he said. My heart skipped for a moment. I was confused. He explained further that the high blood sugar from diabetes damaged the nerves in my body that kept my blood pressure steady. This led to unusually low blood pressure and caused me to collapse, becoming partly unconscious. I recall that some of the symptoms doctor had drawn me through before he diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes had been reoccurring for some months now. So just as I did, we are still number 3 now. Number 3 most times is always the longest part because it is a background story telling how the person discovered they found out they had the illness, blah blah blah, stuff like that. You get. So it's just like background. It's like every movie now. Before the main character fights the villain, uh, there will always be like maybe also you might take like 80% of the movie, then before you now fight the villain. And that's the major thing people even want to watch. But the reason why that background story is important is connect to the story. There are a lot of movies like that, even characters' background story, you will not be able to connect so perfectly. Why? Because you will not see yourself in them. You will not see the hurdles they had to scale through to be able to achieve what they were able to achieve. So that's why it is very important. That's why Nigerians generally have compassion for people that said, I was a bricklayer. I used to drink Gary every day before I became a billionaire. Do you understand? They have more compassion for people like that than somebody saying, I inherited my wealth, I inherited billions from my father. Then from there, I I made even more. Do you understand? People don't really see themselves in those kind of people's story, so they cannot connect emotionally, and because they cannot connect emotionally, they feel those people don't deserve what they got because they did not go through the normal suffering that they are meant to go through. So that's why it is important that you write a good background story that people can see themselves in. They are an average person with diabetes, arthritis, high blood pressure, and what have you. If you can successfully do that, I promise you, your copies are going to convert perfectly. Okay, so let's proceed. Yeah, run me through. Yeah, run me through. Oh, sorry, I recall that some of the symptoms the doctor had drawn me through before he diagnosed with type 2 diabetes had been recurring for months now. I've been urinating more frequently. I've been feeling more fatigue. My fingers and toes had been tingling. My vision was getting blurry, and the cut I had on my finger took far too long to heal up. These are symptoms of diabetes, just as I showed you that other time. It's important to list it out so that somebody that has diabetes and they don't even know, someone that has diabetes and they don't even know, will be able to relate to. I just laid there on my bed, depressed. My family was, let me see the number we are now. Okay, good, we are still number 3. Coming on, coming on, coming on. I just laid there on my bed, depressed. Wait, are we recording this class? Okay, perfect. Yeah. I just laid there on my bed, depressed. My family was also watching me. They were sad as well. The doctor recommended that I start leading a new healthy lifestyle. He advised me to start exercising more, limit food with high sugar or fat, reduce carbohydrates, consult, types of medications that were meant to keep my blood sugar level low. What number are we now, guys? What number are we now?
Number 3.
No, we're not number 3 anymore.
Number 4.
We're number 4.
Number
Yeah,
4.
exactly. We're in number 4. Now, the doctor is already telling him that, okay, reduce your sugar intake. Don't eat food that has too much fat and high in cholesterol. Reduce your carbohydrates consumption. Consume more vegetables. The doctor also prescribed medicines. So we've gotten to number 4. My blood sugar reading at this time was 259 milligram per DL. This is the unit for measuring blood sugar level. So you can do your research on it online. No LD range, no unLD range, so that when you're writing, you can write something that makes a lot of sense. So let's proceed. I followed the doctor's at this time was 259 milligram per DL. I followed the doctor's recommendations religiously and used my medications consistently. I made a mistake here. I should have added but. I didn't see any change after a few weeks of usage. But since I'm not the type to expect an instant result, I kept using the medicine and I was doing as the doctor recommended. I should have added both here too. But after months of doing this, my blood sugar level was still critically high. So it's now 262 milligram per DL, higher than it was before. All through this period of following my doctor's recommendation and using the prescribed medications, my sugar level never dropped below 259 milligram per DL. It was discouraging. I stopped using my medication and started looking for other solutions myself. I went from trying this supplement to another, but none worked. What number are we now?
Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, and one thing, number 5 here is very short. So it was discouraging. The medication is not work, blah, blah, blah. He went from using this supplement to another, but none worked. Just this small line. That was number 5. You get. So by this, let's proceed. By this time, I was frustrated. In fact, I gave up and stopped checking my blood sugar level because it made me even more depressed. I couldn't even enjoy time with my family anymore because the thought of diabetes was constantly on my mind. I started spending more time with my family. Are we now, guys?
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6.
7.
God bless you.
7.
God bless you. Yeah, I'm glad that I told you that you can be flexible with all these things. So if you notice here, I skipped number 6. I didn't say okay. It depends on you. Like it depends on how you take it. Said all through the period he was using it, his BP did not get higher. His BP did not get lower. It was always around that high range. But I didn't really show anything on. I didn't write anything about number 6. I skipped that part to tell you how the symptoms got worse. The telling how the symptoms got worse most times is physical. You get. What I just did is I went to feeling of giving up and hopelessness. Do you understand? And that's why I was saying that you can be very flexible with it. You don't need to be so rigid with it. So let's continue. I couldn't even enjoy time with my family because the thought of more time because my days were numbered. One time at my kids' PTA, I met with Mr. Enride. He was one of the fathers to my daughter. He was the father, excuse me, he was the father of my daughter's best friend. He was in his 50s, so we got along. We talked majorly about the challenges of raising kids at that age. As our conversation went along, I mentioned how the fear of diabetes might rob me from many more years with my kids 4 months ago too. He requested for my phone. When I gave it to him, immediately sent me the link to a video. He asked me to watch it when I got home, and I was going to find something that will help with it.
Number 9, sir.
No,
Number 8.
we just did number, yeah, good. We just did number 8. Do you understand? Gradually bringing in solution. He met with his daughter's father in the PTA. His daughter's friend's father in the PTA, and then he spoke, and then he mentioned his diabetes, and the man was like, I suffered from it about a month ago. Got his number, sent him the link to watch a video. Do you get? So we're already bringing in the solution gradually. Do you get? So let's continue. Okay, so he immediately sent me the link to a video. He asked me to watch it when I got home. I was going to find something that will help my diabetes in the video. I thought to myself, here we go again. One of those videos that will tell you to reduce sugar intake and exercise more. But I didn't want to be rude, so I watched the video and it summarized blood sugar level almost completely, which he called the diabetes destroyer. What number are we now?
Number
10.
number 10, sir.
Number 10.
Yes.
Can you guys
Number
show me
10.
where we did
9.
number 9? No,
Number
we
10,
just
sir.
got to
We
number
are in
10.
number 10. We are past number
Yes.
9.
Can you guys show me where we did number 9?
When you had okay,
Just tell me what's the paragraph.
I thought to myself, here we go again.
Good. So this is number 9.
yes.
This is number 9. But then Anna justified him watching the video that night before he started because he didn't want to be rude. I learned about a video that a Nigerian doctor who is based in India discovered. Sorry, what am I reading? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I learned in the video that a Nigerian doctor who is based in India discovered a natural herb that helps to normalize blood sugar level almost completely, which he called the diabetes destroyer. He claimed this natural herb has a near 100% success rate. 97% success rate was what is stated specifically. I followed the instruction in the video, but I was still very skeptical. What number are we now, guys? Okay, we've done number 10, introducing the unique solution. So let's go to the next page. What number are we now?
12.
More doubts, sir. Number
Yeah?
12.
More
Number 12.
doubts.
More
Can you
doubts.
tell me? Can you tell me where we did number 11, assurance? Okay, let me show you guys. So
I learned a Nigerian doctor who is in India has found a solution to it. That's the number 12, sir.
okay, that's also part of it, but it is majorly here.
He claimed that the natural, yeah.
This natural has a near 100% success rate. 97% success rate was what is stated specifically. You get that's the video giving him assurance, but skeptical. So that's more doubt. That's number 12 that we are now. So this is the part where we are. That's number 12. So let's continue. We're still in 12 now. I thought, what if I fall under 3% of people it won't work for? After 1 week of following the method in the video, there was still no noticeable change. Come in. Okay, let's go. After 1 week of following the methods in the video, there was still no noticeable change. But I wanted to be sure, so I went to the doctor to check my blood sugar level out of curiosity. It was still around 259 milligram per DL. I met with Mr. Henry and spoke to him about what was going on, but he encouraged me to keep following the method in the video, insisting that it will start having an effect around the 3rd week. So, what number are we now? Yes.
Number 14.
I think from number, no. Now transitioning from, sorry, we're now transitioning from number 12 to number 13. That's where we are. We're in between 12 and 13. So, oh, sorry. I missed this step. I wanted to be sure, so I went to the doctor to check my blood sugar level out of curiosity. So the thing is, he went to test, or I wouldn't say this is number 14 because this one still went to the hospital for more reassurance. So let's go. We are seeing between 12 and 13. Let's continue. Okay, so I met with Mr. Henry and spoke with him about what was going on, but he encouraged me to keep following the method in the video, insisting that it will start having an effect around the 3rd week. Honestly, I didn't believe him, but for some reason, I kept at it. Anyway. About 4 weeks after meeting with Mr. we were doing some rearrangement at home and getting rid of old stuff. Coincidentally, I found that the device I used in checking my blood sugar level at home. I decided to try it out one last time before throwing it in the dustbin. I used it and my blood sugar level read 137 milligram per dl. This can't be true, I thought. The glucometer is probably malfunctioning because it is old. I went to the doctor the same day to confirm if the reading was correct. The doctor took my reading once again and he was shocked. My diabetes reading had gone from 259 milligram per dl to 137 milligram per dl within 4 weeks. What number are we now, guys?
Number 14.
Good. Let's continue. It was a miracle. I was so happy. I couldn't contain my joy. I got home as fast as possible to break the news to my wife and kids. So as usual, this ending part, you can see this ending part is easiest to mix up as in whichever way you want. You get, so you can just as I'm reading them like this, just be trying to break them down on your own end. So it's a miracle. I was so happy. I couldn't contain my joy. Abdul Rashid, you're writing something on my screen. So it's a miracle. I was so happy. I couldn't contain my joy. I got home as fast as possible. Abdul Rashid, what's this now? Where's this eraser? Abdul Rashid, what I just attend, I don't understand. Attend your meeting and do this thing. So what are you writing something on the screen? I don't understand. Okay, so let's continue. It was a miracle. I was so happy. I couldn't contain my joy. I got as fast as possible. I got home as fast as possible to break the news to my wife and kids. We were just as elated as I was when I heard the news. My 12-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, does that mean you can now have ice cream?" I didn't even know what to respond. I didn't even know how to respond to that question. I was so happy to even say a single word. Mr. Yorinde was the next person I called. I broke the good news to him also and said, "I told you, glad I can have quality time with my family in good health without in fact, guys, from here to here, I think we've done the then we're going to sorry. We've done the part of going for tests for reassurance. So got the result that was finally better. Obviously, Dr. broke the news to him, then spread the good news, got what he lost back due to the illness, feeling grateful and wanting to share, then your call to action. You understand? Should I analyze that for you guys, or you can decipher it yourself?
It's okay, sir. We can do it ourselves.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the last one. That's arthritis. The arthritis example. I don't know who made this website, the default website. So let's wait for the image to load. Good. So I wish I knew earlier that balms, painkillers, and creams were only worse in my joint pain. 26 years old widow Nigerian mother who battled with arthritis for years shares her story. So now, number one step, a catchy headline, we have that. Short introduction, let's go on. Today we speak with Oluchi Obasi, 26 years old widow who thought arthritis was only an old people condition. So this is the short introduction from year to year. So good day, I'm Oluchi Obasi. I lost my husband in 2020 to COVID after I had just given birth. And since then, things have been really challenging for me. So now we are getting to number 3. That's how she found out she had the illness. So this is the beginning. So after my late husband died, his relatives sent my baby and I packing without anything. So I just had to move in with my elder sister in Lagos. My sister and her husband did everything they could to support my baby and I, but it wasn't enough, and I didn't want to become a burden and liability to them. So I started looking for jobs for myself. I applied for several jobs, but it was just rejection upon rejection. I had to eventually settle for a low-paying cleaner job when I couldn't get any job as a graduate. The job was a strenuous one, coupled with spending hours in traffic. At the end of every day, I was always stressed. I began to develop joint pain around my wrists, neck, shoulder, knees, ankles, waist, and lower back. But the pain on my lower back and knees were the worst. Whenever I sat or bent over, it would seem like I was being pierced at my lower back with a knife. The pain on my knee was also unbearable. My knees would occasionally become stiff, and I would start feeling sharp pains on my knee joints. But I would frequently use agbo, local herbs, to numb the pain and give myself a temporary relief. Guys, can you see what I did here? This is number 3. Oh. This is number, I'm coming. This is number 3. We're still in number 3. But I'm already bringing in common solution she used. How you used among common solution. Do you understand? I'm already bringing it into 3. Did you get, are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah, so
I'm
it's just to show you how it's just to show you how flexible you can be with this. As long just make sure your story comes out well. But I would frequently use agbo local herbs to numb the pain and give myself a temporary relief. Before the pain would come back worse, before the pain would come back worse, after the effect of the agbo wears off. I kept on repeating this cycle for a while until it became too late for me. A particular day at work, while I was mopping the office staircase floor, I felt that extremely sharp pain on my knees. I tried moving to the side of the step to at least rest on the railings, but I couldn't because my knees were stiff. I tried to at least drag my feet forcefully so I could lean on the staircase railings, but as I was trying to, I lost my footing, rolled down the staircase and got slammed on the ground floor with terrible force. I immediately became unconscious, and the next time I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital bed. I had been admitted. My sister was also present. A colleague from work had alerted her when I fell and became unconscious. She was so glad to see I had finally opened my eyes, and before she could open her mouth to speak, the doctor walked in. He examined the injuries I sustained and asked how exactly I felt and what resulted in me falling from the staircase. I told him exactly how I'd been feeling severe joint pain for a while now. And even Abdurrahman, you started writing things on my screen again. It's like you want to leave the meeting. You've wrote some down here again. Next time like this, I'm removing you from the meeting, straight up. Okay, so let's proceed. I told him exactly how I'd been feeling severe joint pain for a while now, and even before the accident. So he decided to run some tests and scan me. When he came back, he broke one of the saddest news of my life to me. I had a severe case of arthritis. What? I was surprised. Wasn't arthritis an old people condition? I'm just 26 years old. I asked the doctor. But he told me arthritis being an old people But he told me arthritis being an old people disease is just a popular misconception. It is not true. Anyone around any age can develop arthritis, most especially if they already have these symptoms. Can you see? I did that thing again. Do you understand? It's just to make it so that people that are experiencing the symptoms and they are not sure that it's arthritis will see that I'm having these things, so that hope is not hope I've not developed arthritis too. So let's proceed. So what number are we now, guys? Guys, what number are we?
I'm not seeing it.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, the screen is not bright.
The screen is blank.
As we can't see it clearly, sir.
But I'm seeing it on my phone now. So what's happening? Can anybody see my screen clearly, or is it the same at
I
everyone's
can
end?
see your screen clearly.
I can see your screen clearly.
It's from your
First,
end.
in my sister cannot see it.
I think it's from your end. It's from your end, because even me on my device, on my phone, I'm seeing my screen clearly. Okay. So now, what number are we?
Number 3, sir.
Number
Okay,
3.
good. Perfect. So can you see how long number 3 is? Most times number 3 can take up to 80% of the length of your pre-sale copy. I'd been experiencing most of these symptoms you mentioned, so I burst into tears. I had recently just lost my husband, and I didn't have any money. And as if that wasn't enough, now I had to battle arthritis again. My sister consoled me, and she promised to foot my hospital bills and support me in whatever way she could. The day I was to be discharged, the doctor prescribed some medicines, balms, and also gave me recommendations like I should do more stretching exercises, stop junk foods, and eat more vegetables. What number are we now, guys?
Number 4, sir.
4.
Okay, good. I'm happy you guys are following.
Number 4,
I began,
yes.
I began using my medicines and I followed the doctor's recommendation too. I resumed work shortly after I was discharged, and I was assigned to a less tasking work because of what had happened. After months of using my pain relief medicines and following the doctor's recommendation, I wasn't feeling any better. In fact, my arthritis had gotten far worse than it was before. Just doing mere things like opening a bottle of water was difficult for me because I would feel extreme pain on my wrist when I tried to. Clapping during service in church also was a challenge. My joint pain had become extreme. I went back to using my agbo local herbs, but at best they would give me a temporary relief for a few hours and then come back far worse. What number are we now, guys?
Number 5 and 6.
Okay, yeah, if you take it like that, no wahala. If
Number
you say
6.
number 6, you are correct. If you say 5 and 6, you are correct. Do you understand? So, as if that wasn't bad enough, things got bad at work too. I was not able to perform, so I was sacked. I was constantly in severe joint pain and body pain, and also at a health risk. I was with no husband, a child to take care of, no source of livelihood, and no source of help other than my sister, where I had obviously become a liability to. I'd already given up on finding a solution for my arthritis and accepted my fate. What number are we now?
Number 7.
Number 7.
Good. Yes, my number 7. Okay, I'd already given up on finding a solution for my arthritis and accepted my fate. When my sister came back from work one particular day, she told me she had watched a video on arthritis. She said the video was about a special combination that helps to reverse arthritis in 90 days or less. What number are we now, guys?
Number 8.
Yes, thank you. She said I got told the instruction in that video would help me reverse my arthritis, and she wanted me to give it a try. I wasn't so sure about this. I thought, if this really works, how come no one has ever told me about it? But I reluctantly began following the method in the video just because my sister encouraged me to. What number are we now, guys?
9.
Number 9.
Yes, thank you. Let's go on. Come on. Where was I? Okay, just because my sister encouraged me to follow the instructions in the video, I wasn't seeing any change. My joints pain was still as bad as ever, but my sister kept encouraging me to keep going on. That the video said the special full effect in about 90 days. The surprising thing is that it wasn't even up to 90 days for me to start seeing a complete turnover. Around the fourth usage, I noticed my joint pain had begun to reduce. I could now walk around with little pain. My body pain had also reduced, and I could bend my back without feeling any sharp pain on my lower back. I should have added here. I made a mistake here. Okay, this was really good feedback, so I kept on using the special combination. Well, all I can say now is in less than 90 days, using the special combination, using the special cost, I'm now completely free of arthritis. What number are we now, guys?
11.
10.
Number 11.
13.
No, you guys did not notice something. We've done number 10, right? Let me show you where we did
number
number 10.
13.
Introducing the unique solution. Let me see number 13. No, she's already better finally. Why? Who can tell me why I skipped number 14? Going for test for reassurance. You know, for diabetes, the diabetes example I showed you, they went for test. High blood pressure, they also went for test. But who can tell me why she didn't go for test? I'm in number 15 now. So let me tell you why I did. I introduced the unique solution by talking about the method in the video that helps reverse arthritis. And then she was not getting better on time. My sister kept encouraging her, keep using it, keep using it. Do you understand? Then I skipped more doubt. And then I went to 13. She started feeling better gradually. When around the fourth week, her pain had reduced. She could move around easily without pain. Then I skipped 14 and I went to 15. Got the results that, okay, in this case now, she is a she, not he. So, excuse me, got the result that she was finally better. I'm coming. Where is it? Okay, I'm now completely free of arthritis. Can you see? That's number 15. So who can tell me why I skipped number 14? Going for test for reassurance. Okay, John Paul Jibrin.
She was no longer feeling those pains.
That's not the reason, sir. Can I make it, sir?
Okay, please go ahead. What's your name, please?
Abdurrahman.
Abdurrahman, yeah, so
Reason-
try Abdurrahman.
Yes. She doesn't have enough to actually go to hospital before, because she didn't have, opportunity to go to the hospital before. So she don't even need to go for retry again. She just needs to, look at her physical, changes, and she's already seeing the changes.
Okay, all right. So that's one reason. That's the second reason. That's good. But there's another major reason. Luna Nat, you raised your hand. So try.
Yeah, because require tests, unlike diabetes and high blood pressure.
What did you say? I didn't get that though.
I said because arthritis doesn't require doing tests.
Exactly. See, one thing about arthritis compared to high blood pressure and this, you will know, you will feel it in your body. No longer feeling those pain, you already know that I'm already relieved of the pain. And one thing you should know is an average Nigerian doesn't just like going to the doctor, except C is a very critical condition. They don't go for checkup, they prefer using this thing on their own. And if they can, they only go to the hospital or to the medical center as last resort. Do you understand? Except maybe it is free. So now, if you're not battling arthritis again and then you're not feeling your physical pain, the physical you are feeling, there's no point going back to the doctor to confirm. Do you understand? The one sorry, I've forgotten your name. Oh, I don't like forgetting people's name. The one sorry, who answered before Lunanach?
It's Abrahman.
Yeah, sorry, thank you, Abdraman. The one Abdraman answered, that's also another secondary reason. But the primary reason is that she's not feeling the pain anymore. So you are not feeling the pain anymore. So what's the point of going to the hospital for the doctor to confirm that I'm no longer this thing that you are now good? It's just like you have malaria. It's just like you have malaria, you were feeling pain in your body and everything. Sorry, please hold on for me, guys. It's just like you have malaria, you were feeling pain in your body. There's no point doing this thing. I'm coming, please. I have to reply one important message. Sorry, guys, please, I'm with you. I'm coming. Okay, yeah, so let's go on. So it's just like you have malaria. You went to the hospital, they told you use this, use that. You were feeling pains all around your body and all. Once you are no longer feeling the pain, you regain your strength. You will not go to the hospital to spend. You most likely not go to the hospital to spend any extra money. Please mute your mic if you are not speaking. Chimezie, mute your mic.
Okay. This one back. Let me give you.
It's not even Chimezie. Pauline Eleojo Enechi.
Oh,
Mute your
sorry.
mic. Okay, so there would not be any need to go to the hospital for confirmation. So the same case with arthritis, diabetes and high blood pressure, they are internal. That's why they call them silent killers. So you need to be sure. They are very deadly. You need to be sure that I'm free already. Do you understand? But in the case of arthritis, you don't necessarily need to. You get, so that was why I skipped it. So, and I went directly to number 15. She got the result that she was finally better. Do you understand? So now let's go on. So as usual, you guys will check this 16 to 19 yourself and confirm. So now let's go on. I have no sort of joint pain at all. I can walk around with no pain. I can bend as I like. I have no swelling on my joints. I can carry my child with no pain at all. That is not even all. Now I've gotten a job as a banker. I'm also engaged to a man who loves my child and I. And our wedding is just a few months away. I'm so thankful to God that I watched the video that helped reverse my arthritis. And I also appreciate my sister for encouraging me to follow the method in the video. If you would also like to watch the video that helped to reverse my arthritis and change my story, click the button below to watch the video presentation now. So, guys, from year to year, should I do the breakdown for you or you check it yourself?
Do it
From
first.
get to the end. Eh?
We like you to do it first.
Okay, so let me do it for you. Let's go on. So now, if you check from here, after she was free of arthritis, now let's check the next number. The next number is spread the goodness. So I have no sort of joint pain. Now I skipped that part. What did I do? I went directly to got back what she lost due to the illness. So I have no sort of joint pain at all. I can walk around with no pain. I can bend as I like. I have no swelling on my joints. I can carry my child with no pain at all. Do you understand? That's not even all. I've gotten a new job as a banker, and I also engaged to a man who loves my child and I. Now, wedding is just a few months away. So, bam, from year to year, she got back all she lost due to the illness. Do you understand? Number 17. So, number 18, feeling grateful and wanting to share the goodness with every other patient out there. Let's get to that. I'm so thankful to God that I watched video helped to reverse my arthritis. And I also appreciate my sister. So, this is her feeling thankful for encouraging me to watch the method in the video. If you'd also, so from year to year, that's she feeling grateful to the end of this video, to this full stop. So that's she feeling grateful and wanting to share the goodness with every other patient out there. Then from there, number 19, call to action. So if you'd also like to watch the video that helped reverse my arthritis and change my story, click the button below to watch the video presentation now. Do you get? So this is the call to action. This one is just Jara, it's just extra. Do you understand? So yeah. So that's that on that. So this is how you use the 19-step structure to write a pre-sale copy. And the good thing about this structure is you can also use this for other if you have your personal product that you sell, and then it can suit it. You can even use it, you get. So it is very good. So before we proceed, I'm going to teach you a thing or two about writing headlines, how you can come up with good headlines. But before then, any question on the 19-step pre-sale structure so far? Guys, any question? Okay, Luna Nach, please go on.
Yeah,
Luna
please, I have a question. Please, like, those stories, like, can we, like, it should be real life stories that we are writing about, or we can just create any fictional story?
It can be fictional. Do you understand? Just let it speak to your audience very well. And it can be, let's say you know somebody and the person won't mind their story being out there using their story. Sure, you can too. You get?
Okay, and can we, like, it should be a personal story, or can we, like, this article now, instead of talking about someone, can we, like, talk about the company, the products, how the company was found, and all of that?
See, if you don't want to write a pre-sale copy that has to do with an individual, you can use this now and talk about this thing. You can just talk to your audience as a second person. You get? So you can write your headline, then you can do a short introduction like, have you been popping several pills over the years because you've been battling with high blood pressure? Have you used several agbo? Have you used several this thing? Do you understand? Then you can now transition to number 3. I just want to give you a quick briefing of how it will be. Then you can now transition to number 3, and then you'll be like, was it difficult for you when you first found out you had the illness? Maybe you had lived with it for years without realizing, and unknowingly you were experiencing symptoms like blurry vision, constant fatigue and tiredness, thinking it is because of stress from work. And you going to number 4 now, and you used it, and you had to visit the doctor using solutions like so. Do you understand? Then you can now be like, when all those didn't work, you went ahead and started using agbo, blah 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 blah, going to common solutions. Do you understand? But you weren't getting any better. In fact, let's say for example, now somebody using diclofenac and amlodipine for I think that's pain relief pills. Now, is it for diabetes or this thing? It causes ulcer. Do you understand? So that's under telling how the symptoms go was. So it can be like you for a long duration of time you were on diclofenac and ibuprofen pills, and then this caused you to develop an ulcer. Do you understand? This might have been happening to you for years. This might have been happening to you for years now. You might have tested out a lot of no solution, and then maybe you've even made up your mind. This is me bringing up hopelessness. So maybe you've even made up your mind that you wouldn't use anymore, that you wouldn't test out anything anymore. You understand? I understand how you feel, and many more like you have felt this way. Do you understand? That you will now start bringing in the solution. But what if I told you there was now a solution that could? But what if I told you there was now a solution that could? Let me see. But what if I told you there was now a solution that could end your years of suffering with diabetes in just 90 days or less? I know. Then you will now be like, I know this is too good. Can you see I'm transitioning? I know this is not too good to be true. If I was in your shoes, I'll probably think it was a lie too. But this has been proven to work, and it has helped over 3,000 something Nigerians in the last 4 years completely normalize their blood sugar and put an end to their diabetes. Do you understand? This solution is an Indian-based method. This solution is an Indian-based method discovered by a Nigerian doctor. The reason why we always say discovered by a Nigerian doctor based in India is because the oga of our company is based in India and they formulate our products in India. So you might have seen a lot of that in this thing. So this solution is a method, is an Indian-based method that's helped a lot of Indians over the years. Okay, let me put it like this. This solution is an Indian-based method, and you might be wondering, and you might notice that Indians tend to live long, and you might have noticed that native Indians tend to live longer than a lot of other races in the world. Why it is because they've been able to maintain a good health using the formula in this whatever it is, in this method I want to share with you. Do you understand? So then you proceed to the next one. You can skip some of these steps if they don't fit in. Then you can now be like, are you still in doubt? You can say, are you still in doubt, or are you still in doubt? Do you understand? Then you will now be like, click the link. Okay, if you are still in doubt, and then you feel this might not work to you, just take a few minutes to watch the video presentation in the next page and see how this can work for you and help you normalize your high blood pressure. But then if you think it cannot work for you, you can decide not to take action and continue living with and continue if you believe this might not work for you, even after you might decide not to take action and continue living a life of struggle, and continue living a life of uncertainty, and continue living a life where you don't even know, and and continue living a life where you can drop down and die at any point in time. But if you don't want to be like this, click the link below to watch the video presentation now. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you see how I use this 19 step to craft like a good copy that is speaking to the second person? You get? So this testimonial copy is like you talking from the first person angle. So guys, if you don't want to write your copy like that, fine. You can write it speaking to the second person. You get? But the thing is, if you are selling to a cold audience, it's always if you are selling with a testimonial copy. You get? So yeah. Does that answer your question, Lunanach?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, so you can drop your hand down. Okay, so Judge Justice, please ask your question.
Yes, sir. So I have just two questions. The first one is, can you tell more than one story in a copy? That's the first question. And then the second one, is it advisable to use pictures when writing copies?
Okay, all right. So your first question is it advisable to use more than one story? Wait, do you mean telling two different people's story?
Yes.
No, I would say stick to one. If you are using this testimonial-based copy, if you are using the method I just showed Lunanach now, you can give example of, look at the story of Madame Victoria, look at the story of Madame Augustine, or sorry, Mr. Augustine. Do you understand? Then you can now talk about their story. Do you understand? Like they are sharing their story. But then if you want to use this testimonial method, just stick to one story. You get it's better that way.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then to answer your second question, do we use pictures? Yes, please. You use pictures when you, because I'm going to give you an assignment on this 19-step research structure. Those of you that are employed, you learn how to source for better images. But for now, just go on Google. Whatever story you write, so let's say you write story about a middle-aged woman in her 30s, just go to Google, type 30 years old black woman and use any stock image. Stock images are free images. Like most of this example now, some of these images now, I got them for free, but you have to be patient to search very well. Like this Oluchi one, it was a free image. Do you understand? I was looking for an image that would be perfect, and I saw this. It was a free image from a free website. Do you get? And the funny thing is, as I saw her like this, I said, "This is Oluchi straight up." She even looks like Oluchi. You get? So take your time. But for now, for assignment's sake, you guys will be taught when some of you that are onboarded will be taught how to source for better images. But for now, for your assignment, just use any random stock image you find on Google. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. So some people's hands were raised before, but they've dropped their hands. Okay, maybe they had similar questions. Luna Nach, your hand is raised again. So ask your question.
Yeah. Yeah, please, concerning the images, like if we use any image like we found online, like what if we
Yes.
had the copyright issue or all of that?
Yeah, that's why I said for now, use stock images. You get
Yeah, okay.
just all these stock images are like free image. Let me show you. Let me go to my browser and show you. Let's say you want to, you can just spell the company. That will not give you copyright issue. You get so. Let me show you an example. Black man in his 40s. Black man in his 40s. So you see free images. You already know these ones are free images. They even brought it itself. Black man in his 40s. You already know these ones are free images, so you can just go ahead and download them. So you see, images, most of all these high definition images are always free. You get.
Okay.
So you go to images. Then before you download the image, make sure you open the website, and then it's a website. If you see all these stock photos, they give free images. Which other ones? See, iStock, yeah, iStock gives free images. Adobe Stock gives free images. Jetty Images too will also give free images.
Also,
But the thing is,
pixels.com.
what did you say? What did you say? Images will also give you plenty. I can't hear you. What are you saying? Who is speaking? I can't hear you. Okay, so you see plenty like this. I've not even gone far and I've already seen plenty. You get, but we just make sure that it's a stock image. This, for example, now is not a stock image. Jetty image, this is a stock. This is not stock. Check the website. iStock, these are stock free images. It will not give you copyright issue. But definitely, one thing about stock images, those of you that are onboarded, once you join and then you start running, it will be difficult to source for, it might be difficult to source for good, except you are very good. Like me, I can take my time, I can take up to 2 hours and look for a very good source stock image that will look very real. Like that Oluchi one that I showed you. But then if you don't know how to, you'll be shown a way that you can get better images that will not put you in that won't give you any copyright issue. But for the assignment sake, just use normal stock image. You get.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's that. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so in the absence of any, let's proceed. So now you've learned how to identify your customer avatar, how to identify Janice's customer avatar by asking some questions, and how you can have those questions answered. And once you get those questions answered, how you can write your copy using the 19-step Janice pre-sale structure. You've learned those. So now, the one thing I've not taught you is I've not given the assignment yet, Babatunde Ahmad. I've not given. I'll give you an assignment. That was what I said. I will send it to I will tell you guys and I'll send it to the group. Okay, so one thing I've not taught you guys is how to write good headlines. So now, normally I would have given formats for writing headlines, but I noticed that other previous sets, like a lot of them, they were sticking so much to that format, and then it was becoming very rigid. Do you understand? And they were becoming very rigid, and they didn't want to improve. And one thing about headline is you need to evolve, because something that appeals to the market this month might not appeal to them next month. So you have to be constantly improving yourself. So when you want to write your headline, you need to obey 3 laws. The first law is your headline should call out your audience or depict what it is you want to talk about. Law 2 is your headline should intrigue curiosity in your audience. Then law 3 is your headline should obey the law of we FM. Every prospect online, everybody, not even prospects, channel, we FM. Everybody is always after what's in it for me. What's in it for me? Do you understand? So you have to obey the law of we FM to like what is in it for them. Do you understand? But the good thing about these laws is that sometimes you might not obey the 3rd law and then your copy will still convert very well. So I've noticed over time that the 2 most important law are law 1 and law 2. Your headline should call out your audience or depict what it is you are talking about, and your headline should intrigue curiosity. You can also obey law 3, but sometimes you won't obey it and then you'll do teachings for today. So first of all, the high blood pressure headline. So guys, looking at this headline, does he obey law 1? Let's look at the laws again. Does he obey law 1? Guys, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Does he obey law 1?
It does.
He does. Okay, how does he obey law 1? Tell me.
Because it mentioned the diabetes there, the high blood pressure there.
Exactly. You should call out your audience or depict what it is you are trying to talk about. Do you understand? So this IBP has called out people having IBP already. Anybody having IBP, if they say anything about IBP online, they will stop and check. Do you understand? So if it intrigues their curiosity, they might be open to reading through. So now, does he obey law 2? Let me show you law 2 again. It should intrigue curiosity. Does he obey law 2?
Yes,
Yes,
I
it
do.
does.
Yes.
Okay, how does he
does.
obey law 2? How does he obey law 2?
He said, I almost lost the battle.
Okay, but to me, that's not really why. Somebody else should try.
This is my the story part, my daughter's matriculation, during my daughter's matriculation. So they want
Yeah,
to know
why is
what
that?
happened. People want to know what happened during the matriculation.
Good. The thing is, normally your daughter's matriculation is a happy day, especially your first daughter. She gained admission to study medicine. During your daughter's matriculation, you now almost lost the battle to high blood pressure. That means you almost died. Do you understand? That's something that intrigues curiosity in your audience. Anybody, if you call out your audience, people that have high blood pressure, you're not telling them that me during my first daughter's matriculation, I almost lost the battle to high blood pressure. It intrigues curiosity because it was a happy day that almost turned to a sad day because of you. So a lot of them would want to know what happened. Do you understand? So now, does he obey law 3? What's in it for me?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are right. It doesn't, but it's still converted well. That's what I'm telling you, that sometimes you don't necessarily need to obey the law 3 and then your ads will still do well. So let's look at another example I showed you guys. Come here, I'm coming. So now look at this headline. Now let's break down this one too. Does he obey the first law? calling out your audience or depicting what you are trying to talk about?
Yes, it does.
Huh? How does it do that?
Mentioned diabetes.
Good. You mentioned diabetes. You mentioned diabetes. So it obeyed the first law. So the second law is it should intrigue curiosity. Does it do that?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
How does it intrigue curiosity?
The fact that a 14 years old boy was able to drive his dad to nearby hospital.
Perfect. That's the simple answer. It's not something that is just normal. You get. So you saying my 14 years old son to drive me to the emergency center and I fainted due to diabetes, you'd have known that this thing was severe for a 14 years old son to carry you to the medical center. Do you understand? That means it was really a serious case of diabetes. And anybody with diabetes will be like, let me know what happens to this man, or the same thing should not go and happen to me. That's why sometimes you will not obey that last law, and then your ads will still do very well. So does he obey the last law? What's the need for me?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Good, it doesn't, but it's still converted well. That's what I'm saying. And as I said, the reason why sometimes it doesn't and it will still convert well is because they are curious enough to know that what happened to this man. Let me know what happened to this man, so it's the same thing will not happen to me. Let's say, for example, now, right? You want to travel to Canada. Your Canada trip is just a month away or 2 months away. And then you now see an headline like this online. My jealous friend hid my Canadian visa under his carpet just 2 weeks to my travel date. Does he obey the law of what he did for you?
It does not. Though.
It does not, but will you read it?
Definitely. Because
Why
it
is that?
intrigues curiosity. It intrigues curiosity.
No. Me, I just want you to talk now. Like, forget that I taught you anything today. Speak like I've not taught you anything
You
today.
want to know why his friend will do that to you?
Exactly.
Exactly. And see, the reason why again is because you now know that I'm traveling into Canada just 2 weeks now. I beg, let me know what happened so that people to let me know what caused this kind of thing so that means I'll not experience it. You get. So that's why headlines like this work. Headlines like this, they just look like gist. Most time when you put the last part of that headline, it makes it seem like you are trying to sell something. Do you understand? Although over time, some prospects would have figured out that you are trying to sell something anyways, especially if your post is sponsored. But anyways, the thing is, this ones look so much like this, so it will encourage so much more people to read. Now, I'm not against obeying the third law. You can still obey the third law well, and then your headline will still do very well. And don't forget, I was saying yesterday, the most important part of your copy is the headline. That was why I showed you the example of that book, Astrology Club, and the book of how to satisfy a woman every time and have her beg for more. Just the headline was changed. Do you understand? Imagine if I just wrote here my diabetes story. I've actually called out my audience, but I've not said anything intriguing. I've not told them what's in it for them. It will not convert. Do you understand? Each of all these pre-sales that I'm showing you, they've brought in more than 200 orders each. You get? So there are things that have worked live in the market. So let's look at another example now. Let me show you the last one I showed you. So look at this one. I wish I knew earlier that balms, painkillers, and creams were only worsening my joint pains. 26 years old widowed Nigerian mother who battled arthritis for years shares her story. So does he obey the first law?
Yes, it does.
How does he obey the first law?
Because arthritis was mentioned.
Good. Arthritis was mentioned. Good. What else?
He also mentioned some things she wished she knew earlier. Like some of the
No.
I don't really get that. I don't get that.
I think mentioning something she wished she knew earlier, actually follows law 3. That is, what is in there what is in the story for the reader.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Completely.
I'm saying law 1 now. Law 1.
He
Does he obey
mentioned-
law 1?
It's
Does he
actually,
call out
yes,
your audience?
it's
Or the picture you are trying?
Yes, arthritis and the country, Nigeria. I don't know if I'm correct.
No,
For
no,
me,
no. We
yes.
target Nigerians generally, so you
For
don't
me,
need to worry about
for me
that.
now,
For now,
it obeyed law one because many people have been using the same thing, balms, painkiller, and creams for joint
yes,
pain issues.
yes. Obeys law. Let me just. It's mentioned arthritis, mentioned joint pain. People that have arthritis, joint pain is not strange to them. Do you understand? Then aside that, see, imagine, see, if there are some things you will say, you don't need to say the condition the person going is
So
going
I can't
through,
hear you
and then
anymore.
the person knows what you are talking about now. Let's say you run a, you guys, can you hear me now?
Just now, the network is
Can you hear me
bad.
now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now. Okay, good. So as I was saying, it calls out your audience because it mentions arthritis, mentions joint pain. Then even aside that, it mentions things that they are familiar with, balms. Somebody battling with arthritis is familiar with balms, painkillers. Somebody battling at, or at least some people, then creams. They are familiar with that. Do you understand? That is why it calls out your audience and depicts what you're talking about. Let's say if you run an ad now for people having chicken pox, and then you mention calamine lotion alone, people that called out people that have chicken pox stand after you. So that's the importance of not just mentioning the condition. You can also mention things they are familiar with. You get. So now, does he obey law too? Does he intrigue curiosity?
Yes, sir, it does.
Yes.
How does he intrigue curiosity? I can't hear you well. I can't hear you well. Your voice is faint, and I'm hearing a lot of background noise from your end.
Because
Can you hear me now?
if you are a patient of this kind and you have been using balms, painkillers, and creams, and it has not
Yes,
been working out, you come across it, you know why the person said what she said. You want to, because you have been using these painkillers.
exactly,
You want to know why
exactly. That is why it intrigues curiosity. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's intrigues curiosity. Why? Because most people that are having joint pain, arthritis, a lot of them will be using things like rub, aboniki, painkillers, creams. Yeah, those are the common things. Now you telling them that this woman, she wish that she knew that those things were only working at joint pain. That's like to make them very, very curious that let me check. It should not be that because me too have been using this thing, I've not been feeling better. It should not be that the same thing is happening to me. Do you understand? Then another thing that you guys miss is that a 26 years old with arthritis. "26 years old with arthritis." That's another reason why it intrigues curiosity. You get, guys? Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we get.
Yes.
Yeah, because normally arthritis is an old people condition. So the thing is, younger people that see this pre-sale page, even though see they might be like, that means I've been feeling joint pain. No, it should not be that it's actually arthritis. Then let me see what they have to say. Do you understand? So that's another reason. Now, does he obey the third law? What's the
Yes,
need?
it
What's
does.
the need for your audience? Yes.
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
How does he
Because
obey the third law?
we want to know what she discovered by the fact by saying balm and painkillers are not working for joint pains.
Good. So that is how it says what's the need for them. Now, what's the need for me does not always mean what's the need for your prospects does not always mean the solution they will get. It could just be what they will miss out if they don't read that story. Do you understand? That could be what would they miss out if they don't get the information you want to share in that your pre-sale? Do you get? So that's it. That's how you know this thing. How do I put it now? Sorry, that's how you can come up with good headlines. So let me show you some other examples. You analyze them yourself anyways, so it won't take so long. Let me show you some other examples of some of my other resales. So you just check them. You can analyze them on your own. You get. So let me just load it up. This one. What that presale? Which one of my other presale name do I remember? So look at this one too. This one was a sex sample copy for diabetes. So look at the headline. So this is also another one. You can analyze this one on your own. Okay. Let me open another one for you guys. I've forgotten all this my presale name. So coming. Wait. No. Wait, I'm coming. No. This is where did I now put this copy? Why did I now? I want you guys to see one. There's one diabetes one. Okay, let me open my. Maybe it's no longer on this thing. Or wait. I think it's in Okobi 8. Yeah, look at this one too, guys. Look at this one. Everything we're taught in medical school about curing diabetes was like Nigerian doctor after his resignation. So you also analyze this one yourself. Let me show you another one. Why have I forgotten the name of all these subdomains? That was I can't really remember the names of all my subdomains. So this is just everything. You understand? I've forgotten the name of some of them until I go back to my cPanel. It's been a while around with some of them, so I don't remember names. So just go through those examples, analyze them. So yeah, before we end, let me give you guys assignment. So now your assignment is using the 19-step Janice pre-sale structure that I just taught you to do. You are going to write
I can't hear you clearly. I don't know. We can't hear
a
you.
Google Doc
We can't hear
importance.
you.
Have you heard? So that's your assignment. Using the 19-step
We can't hear
I
you.
taught you.
We can't hear you at all. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear the assignment. Oh.
I'm coming. I'll type it on the group. Have you heard? I'll type it on the group. Can
Okay,
you hear
sir.
me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I'll say
Yes,
it
we
here,
can
then I'll
hear
type
you.
it on. Yeah, I'll say it here, then I'll type it on the group. Using the 19-step Janice pre-sale structure that I taught you today, you are going to write a pre-sale copy using that 19-step Janice pre-sale structure. Then you are going to submit before your class tomorrow morning. Do you understand? And make sure you submit in Google Doc and that the link is accessible. Please attach your name too. So when you submit, don't just send the link. Some people are always funny like that. Attach your name. Do you understand? Put a Abdurrashid Amoto's assignment, Abdurrashid Amoto's pre-sale assignment, then put the link and make it accessible. So it's very, very important, guys. Did you get that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
all right. So Julius, I can see you are raising your hand. Ask your question.
Okay, yes, sir. It's not really a question. I just want to get clarity on something. The last headline that you showed us, you said everything that was taught in medical school about diabetes was a lie, something like that. Now, that
Yes.
kind of headline is like you are dragging the entire medical school association, stuff like that. I don't know. So
Okay, go on, please.
I don't know. That story now, can it be fictional or should it be like a real story? Because like facts that you need, I don't know how to explain it, but you just need to prove that the headline is actually accurate so that someone does not end up writing a headline that would now cause maybe problem or something. I don't know.
Okay, so let me tell you something. One thing you should know is that first of all, this thing gives you coming headline that causes what they call, what's this word say for? I've forgotten this word. I'm coming, please. I'm coming. What's this word of like confusion online, all those kind of stuff? I've forgotten the word. Okay, I don't remember the word, but see, yeah.
Reactions.
No. That's not the word. You know, like when all these celebrities, when they do some kind of things that somebody is saying they are just trying
They're
to
chasing
cause.
Controversies.
Yeah, God bless you.
Controversies.
Controversies. That's the word. See, headline that causes controversies. See, they are perfect. And the thing is, if you can prove your points well, based on your headline, it will do. See, you know why I use that headline? Because a lot of people with high blood sugar, they go to hospitals and they just give them metformins and they give them insulins and this thing. And the thing is, see, you know why that headline is good? The reason why it is good, first of all, it is controversial, so it will give you a lot of engagement. You see a lot of people saying it's a lie and everything. Just don't mind. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Can you?
Yes.
Yeah. So those headlines will work, first of all, because those headlines that cause controversies, though a lot of people say it's a lie, blah blah blah, and everything, but you don't mind. You know why it will work, because some people have actually used all those things for years. Some people have been using those things that their doctors recommended, and it hasn't worked. Do you understand? It is people like that you are targeting with that headline. Somebody that it has worked. Let me even open this thing again. See, like, you know that headline that I showed you that I wish I knew earlier, that balms, painkillers, and creams were worsening my this thing.
Yes,
somebody that balms, painkillers, and creams has worked for, we obviously not purchase. Do you understand? You don't want that kind of person. You want people that have been using balms, painkillers, and creams, and then it hasn't worked for. It is those kind of people that you are calling on to with that your copy. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This kind of headlines now, everything we were taught to medical school about diabetes was a lie. Nigerian doctor Sylvester Ojobo exposes the greedy diabetes industry after his resignation. This headline like this now, somebody that the doctor's prescription has worked for, we obviously not read through. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You get? Now, the thing is, a lot of people have been going to see. I remember there was one time that my brother had this thing on his head. Like his head was itchy. When he went to school that time, I think he borrowed somebody's soap, and then since then, like his head was itching him for like 3 years. I'm not joking, no. And his hair was not even growing well. Do you understand? He tried, we went to the doctor, we were just using us. I'm serious. So the doctor was using us to test medicines. Do you understand? And what then happened? I think at the end of the day, my mom saw something online that she starts using moringa powder. So he will mix moringa powder with water and be using it. Like when he was bathing, we'll be using it on his head, maybe like 3 times per week. And his head stopped itching him and his hair grew back. And for 3 years, we were like dragging it to. So somebody like that saying everything the doctor was, everything your what do they call doctor that yeah, he's a dermatologist now. Everything your dermatologist has been telling you about head lice is a lie. I can prove it to you. There's now a solution. Somebody like that, if you write that kind of headline, all those people that they've been using it for like 3 years, if like my brother then, for those 3 years, if you saw that kind of headline, that headline is speaking directly to him. That's the person you want to reach. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So see, not every headline will appeal to every audience. Obviously, if you write like that, I wish I knew that ban painkillers and creams. I've been worsening my joint pain. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Somebody that has used ban painkillers and creams and has worked for them, they have no business without your copy. They are not even battling with joint pain anymore. So they will just say it's a lie and they will just move on. Whereas there are some people that have been using those bans, painkillers and creams, and they are still battling with joint pain. Do you get? So those are the people you want to speak with. Do you understand? So you see, a lot of people always during training, like, a lot of people always say all this controversial this and all. But don't worry, see, when you get to the battlefront and then you start doing normal headlines, and then you start some normal headlines, like that one of I wish I sorry, that one of during my daughter's matriculation, that one to work well, 14 years old, that one will work well. But see, controversial things work so well. That's why if you notice, a lot of Nigerian celebrities will just do some controversial things. People will talk about them. The thing is, see, anywhere attention goes on the internet, money will follow. Well, if you can monetize it, it's not everybody that can monetize attention. So all this kind of headline, they draw attention, they cause controversy, and because they cause controversy, they draw attention. And if you can draw attention, money will follow it. You get.
Yes, sir. Right.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. So any other question? Okay, Ebenezer N. Jones, please ask your question.
Okay, sir. My question is pertaining the assignment. You
Yes.
asked us to use the 19 pre-sale copy structure. So I want
Yes.
to know if it's for HBP, diabetes, arthritis.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I
We
didn't.
could use it for any of them.
Okay, I didn't mention that. Sorry, anyone you want to write about. Anyone. It could be arthritis, it
Okay,
could be
sir.
diabetes, it could be high blood pressure. Anyone.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Please, you can drop your hand. John Paul Jibrin, please ask your question.
Yes, sir. Writing this pre-sale copy, can someone use Pidgin English?
Can you use
Pidgin English?
Okay, so one thing about Pidgin is if you write Pidgin for too long, if you write like 300 words with Pidgin, it will be difficult to read. Pidgin is good though, because to make people relate better with your copy. But
Yes,
if you not write, people cannot read Pidgin for a long period of time, for a sustained period of time. Why? Because they are not used to reading it like that. You understand?
Okay.
Can you read a
Yes, sir.
book written in Pidgin now?
Not perfectly.
Exactly. So even though you want to add Pidgin, it can just be few lines. Maybe somebody just exclaimed, and then you want to write that part and put it in quotes. You can put it in Pidgin. You can just put it here and there. Do you understand? But don't let the most of it. Don't even let 20% of your copy be in Pidgin. Restrict your Pidgin to like maybe 5% of the length or less.
Okay,
Then
sir.
somebody was asking, please, all these people that are always doing, I don't want to talk, that I'm shy. Please, we're already old enough. Don't go and be typing your question inside this thing when you can open your mouth, can talk. But anyways, you asked that how many words should we limit the copy to? As long as you want. Most of my own copies, you will see, you can see 2,000 something words, 1,700. But if you can convey your message and make it make a lot of sense in 300 words, why not? Just make sure that you do your assignments well. Okay, Luna Natch, ask your question.
Okay, please, can we submit the assignment in PDF format?
No, you cannot. It has to be Google Doc.
Okay.
What you just do is, if you don't want anybody to mess up with your assignment,
Yeah.
just don't give anybody editing access. When you are giving, don't give anybody editing access. Just do view access alone, and you drop the link, so nobody will be able to edit it.
Thank
you. Okay, you can drop your hand now. So, any other question? Okay, Solomon James, go on, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I want to ask, in the example you gave us, on the write-up of diabetes and the rest, you were, there are gaps in between your sentences. I wanted to ask, is it important that we, like, for every sentence, there would be a gap before the next one, and there will be a gap? Like, can't we just merge everything like a normal write-up?
Okay, all right. That's a good question. Okay. So, one thing you should know is, see, if you are writing to sell, you are writing copywriting, you are writing to sell. See, not even if you are writing to sell, any kind of writing, it's only academic writing that I know that they will be writing and jamming up words. See, leaving a lot of white spaces in between your write-up makes readability very easy. Let me open some PDFs that I have here, and you compare the books. See, it makes readability very easy. If you are to read this now, it's easier to read this here than reading this one. Why? Because the words are not clustered together. So leave a lot of white space. I'll see. You even notice that I ended some of my paragraph with comma. One thing you should know about copywriting is the most important thing is people understand your message. And please write as if you are writing to somebody, that is 9 years old. Do you understand? Don't use big grammar. Let it be simple English that everybody will understand. You are writing to sell. Do you understand? Then also let it be very readable. You are not writing academic writing. No need for big words. No need for your words being so clustered. The more you space out your words your paragraphs very well, you even notice some people in journals, their paragraph does not pass one line. But me, I would advise that even though, max, maybe 3 lines, you can end your paragraph with a comma, continue on the next line. Nobody will hold you to it. The most important thing is that they are getting you're able to speak well to your audience. You get. So that's why it is enough to leave a lot of white spaces. If you take 2 books now, for example, let's say one is well spaced out and another one, the words are clustered, it will be like you are working harder to read that one where the words are too clustered. Do you understand? Compared to one where the words are more spaced out. You get. So that's why it is important for you to space out your words very well. So our advice, a paragraph should not pass 3 lines. If it's already passing 3 lines, you can end your paragraph with a comma, go to the next paragraph. You will know if you go through this thing, you see a lot of my copies, a lot of my paragraphs ended with comma. Some might never end them with full stop. That is the good thing about this job. See, the funny thing is, most of the things like the writing method in school is far, far, far different from the writing method here. If you're using too much simple English in school, it will be like you're not intelligent or anything. But if you use big English in the market, you not sell shingban, you not sell anything. So just do what the market wants. Make readability easy. Just do things that will make people read your copy well. So leave a lot of spaces. Let there be a lot of break. You can do each paragraph 1 line. But if you want to pack it up together, don't let it be more than 3 lines max. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Angela Oluwade, please ask your question. Angela Oluwade, you're raising your hand.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Should we limit the copy to? Yes.
Yeah,
Good
sorry,
afternoon.
I didn't get that. Good afternoon.
Hello,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I said, how many copies should we limit how many words should we limit it to?
Oh, somebody
The
asked earlier. I
copywriting.
said it can be as long as you want, and it can be short too. The most important thing is that you use the structure to the best of your ability, or to the best of your dexterity, and then you come up with something good. Personally, me, I like very long copies. My copies can be like 1,700 words, 2,000 something words. But then you can decide that I can convey my message perfectly and speak well to my audience with 300 words. So the length depends on you. You get. But that does not mean you should just go and do sharp this thing. No, convey your message, or let it be something that somebody will read and be convinced enough to take to take. You get. Okay, so any other question before I end the class? Ukaria Ubena, do you want to ask a question?
No, sir. I'm okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So in the absence of any question, so this is my last class with you guys. So it was nice teaching you guys. I had the good time. So Mr. Shea will be taking you guys tomorrow. He'll teach you on writing Facebook ad, primary text, and headlines. So this part now is writing pre-sale. So he'll teach you writing primary text and headlines. So just make sure that you show up on time, and then you do all your assignments on time. Then during the trading major, just make sure you do all your work on time, you submit on time. So yeah, that's that. So have a nice day. Then don't forget your assignments.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir. Have a nice day.
Yeah.